If you want to build wealth and empower yourself at each stage of money in your life, you're in the right place. You're listening to the Modern Kings podcast, your source of life-changing information for upgrading your lifestyle and unlocking your keys to success. Welcome to Modern Kings. I'm your host, King Prime. I can be found at iamkingprime.com. Thank you for joining. Today, we will be talking about the accumulation stages of wealth. Money is important. Here's why. It takes money to do almost anything that you care about in life. There are many people that say that money is the end all be all. Money is not the end all be all. But I will say, like one of my mentors, Brian Tracy, said, money is right up there, right next to air. You don't realize how important it is until you don't have it and you need it. I'm going to be discussing and breaking down these accumulation stages because it can be very, very frustrating as we try to gain traction with our financial journey, with our savings, with our debts, with our school loans, with our day-to-day living. We're going to be covering survival, stability, wealth, and affluence. So let's start out with survival. What keeps you there? This is many times when you're young, you're just starting out a career, you don't have many skills, you are maybe starting a new family, maybe you have not been financially disciplined. Financial discipline is something that is not often known, not often taught. I think many people are conditioned to not even talk about money. I want to talk about money, but people don't often want to talk about it. So I don't know what that discomfort is about, but that is something that I aim to do here to serve you. Now back to survival mode. You have a young family. Maybe you have bad credit. You have your starter job where you're just getting into the workforce. And honestly, it does not pay a whole lot because you don't have a lot to offer. The marketplace and the workforce compensates you based on the value that you bring. And it takes time and experience to bring value. Again, you could also be in this place of survival because you have debts, you have student loans, and you just honestly made some bad choices with your money and your decisions. I often say that you're balling out or attempting to ball out way too soon. For my young people out there, I want you to know that he who balls out last really balls out the hardest. Another thing that contributes to your survival mode is your overspending. You don't do a budget. You actually have something against the B word, budget. The budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So that is something that even the wealthiest of people do. That's how they got wealthy. They use the budget. So in all of this, you're probably feeling like you can't get ahead. Now you're able to finally see the light of day when you're at stability. You are seeking and even creating opportunities. You have a little bit more to offer the marketplace and people and services. Your skill set is growing. You have made a few sacrifices that have afforded you the opportunity to be able to get ahead. You have more money left than you have month left versus the other way around. You are implementing budgets and savings and planning and so forth and so on. And you are developing habits for investments. Now, those investments could be various ways. They can be real estate. They can be your 401k. They can be dividends. They could be plenty of things, but at least you're putting your money somewhere in an asset that can grow. You also know that you're in the stability stage when you are in a place of having a career versus a job. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a job. A job is services rendered for compensation. A career is the same thing, but with more tenure, more skills added into that, and you have to be a little more educated along the lines of what it is that you're doing. You're not as replaceable as someone with a job. And typically you operate at a little bit higher level in a career than you do a job. One last thing that can contribute to stability, whether you have a job or a career, is being able to get a second job. Again, that goes back to the sacrifices, being able to be on a budget, being able to have more income coming in than you have going out. Let's get to the good part, wealth. This is where you are finally in that category of being financially savvy. You're a little more disciplined. You're not going out and just spending your money. You're financially savvy. You're aware of your cash flow. You know exactly how much your bills are. You're able to know how much of your allocations, your savings, how much you're investing, what portion of your income is going to what place. It becomes a beautiful work of art, in my opinion, when you can allocate your resources to work on your behalf. And at this time, you're also establishing multiple streams of income. Those multiple streams of income, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. The more that you set up mechanism, tools, resources to be able to create passive income, you will start to build wealth. You will never get to the point of building true wealth as long as you are consistently exchanging time for money without your money having a place to grow and build. You're also beginning to think long term, and I would even say that you're beginning to act long term. There's a quote that has helped me tremendously, and it is, live like you're going to die tomorrow and live like you're going to live forever. For me, it brings perspective into the picture, and it allows me to have fun. It allows me to live in the moment. It also allows me to be able to look at the long game and be able to pursue that with intentionality. You're definitely gonna find yourself separated from people. You will not grow at the same pace or rate, and you will not grow with the same people that you've always been around when you're getting on the wealth train. All great things are done singularly. You've never seen an entire group come together and make a forceful movement that really mattered when it comes to finance. This is an individual move. It's an individual action. There has never in the history of mankind been a monument built on behalf of a committee. So this is something that you have to separate yourself and decide that you're going to do. And the last part of the wealth building stage that I have to add here is that you're going to start seeking professional help. You're going to have your accountant on call. You're going to have perhaps a financial advisor. You're going to have peers and friends that you have built friendships and relationships with. And you're going to have advisors that you call on to be able to get second opinions on some things. I have personally my accountant and my real estate brokers that before I'm purchasing any non-enriching asset, well, which is a liability. So I should have said liability, but when I'm purchasing a liability, I'm asking, hey, what's my budget here? Because I can buy it if I want it, but what's smart to do? So my accountant say, hey, don't spend over this much. My mortgage lender is saying, well, I say stay within this number, but you're fine from the numbers from my end. So don't think you have it all. You leverage your team, lean on people, and ask the question. You don't have to know it all. Last step in this, we're moving to affluence. This is where you're going to think legacy. Your children's, right? How far down the road do I want to make an impact? I heard something inspiring. I heard something very inspiring as I completed my most recent book that I read. And it talked about Benjamin Franklin's investment. And he invested money for the city of Philadelphia. He was able to set up an investment. And he said, don't touch this money for 100 years. After 100 years, that money compounded so much freaking interest, it was ridiculous. And he said, after that time, take out an X amount and don't touch it for another 100 years to reinvest it into that. I just thought that that was amazing. And if we can get that mindset and adopt, not to say that or 100 years, but just come close to that. Do something. Just do something to support and enhance and build something to leave a legacy. And you're not building that legacy for it to just sit around. You want to preserve that legacy. When I say sit around, like if it's there, like people can take it, you can go to probate. You want to be able to set up a trust and preserve all of it, all of your hard-earned work, your hard-earned money for your family, your future, your legacy, your future generations. Affluent people use insurance strategically. They add that into their estate planning. You're also at the affluent stage, a habitual investor. You're often finding something to invest in. And you're not just investing in anything, you are investing in, by this time, you know a deal. You know what's right, you know what's not. If you ever look at places, shows like Shark Tank or certain people that are investors and venture capitalists, and if some of this is above your head, just stick around. We'll get into all of this. But they have been around and done the game for so long that they know what's a good deal and they know what isn't. And the last thing, I mentioned a little bit of this before, but they have a trust. A trust is going to give you peace of mind, because the day that you leave this earth and you are leaving your affluence, your wealth to future generations, you want that wealth to go where it's supposed to go. If what you built is in probate, you're going to have everybody, including the state, the city, the government, getting into your affairs when you have control to set that up yourself. So that is a move of the affluent. Okay, so as we put a close on this episode, I want you to take action. Pull out your paper, write this down. Answer this question: why do you want to be wealthy? Think about it. What purpose are you trying to seriously get the bag for? What impact are you trying to have on your family, on your community, on this earth, within humanity? You're here to serve. You're here to assist people. You're here to help people. You're here to lead people. And honestly, it's going to take some dollars to do that. So this goes back to a previous episode, find your why, but why do you want to be wealthy? Secondly, how wealthy do you want to be? Don't be afraid to put that number down there, but also be realistic. If you know that you are working a job and you are not in a career, do not put $20 billion down. But I know that determination, hard work, and education and discipline can take you anywhere, right? So write down how wealthy you want to be. Drop me a comment. Let me know how I can help you. Let me know what you would like to hear from me in these future podcasts. I'm doing this to serve you, to serve the community, to help build full-grown, capable leaders in the form of men. And whoever else this helps, jump over to Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this podcast. Get a brother up in the algorithm so that we can get this to people that need it. I appreciate you. I have a link below for my book list. Some of the books that I'm referring to, I didn't mention any names, but there are tons of books on finances. There are books on leadership. There are books that I felt have tremendously helped shape and evolve my life. So if you're looking for something to take you to that next level while you're, sitting, want to read, want to enhance your life, I highly recommend you get those books. You will be surprised how much a book can help you out by opening it up and consuming that content. Listen, rich people have small TVs and big libraries. Poor people have big TVs and small libraries. That's a direct quote from Zig Ziglar. Follow me on YouTube at King Prime. Follow me on Instagram at Iam.KingPrime. And I will see you next week. Until then, look your best, do your best, and be your best.